Track tag, beat.
Yes, people, big up to everyone. Welcome back to another stream on Chic TV on this lovely, lovely Friday. Not so lovely where I'm currently at. It is raining currently at this moment, but hopefully all you guys are having a great Friday going into this great weekend as well. We're back for an episode number 13 of the Stretford Chronicles show that I do every single week, every single Friday, or I try to do every single Friday. Where we discuss everything Manchester United related that has gone throughout the week. And there's a lot of news that we do have to unpack today. Transfer news, some players getting back into the squad, lots of stuff going on. So we're pretty much going to discuss all of it. I'm going to give my thoughts about all of those type of things. I didn't really do a match reaction to the Wolves game. If I'm being completely honest, it's really because I can't be asked about the league anymore. So we're gonna kind of treat this as a preview to the Bournemouth game this weekend as well, even though I'm probably not going to speak too much about it. But yeah, we're here. So we're going to discuss all the transfer news. As you can kind of see in the title of the video, the Cunha deal looks like it is very, very close. So we've got linked to Cunha for a while, and now it looks like it is in fruition, and we're looking to get him possibly even before the season ends. So good news on that. We're going to discuss more about that, of course. Delap is another name that has been linked to Manchester United as the striker incoming this summer. And obviously, we've heard about his transfer dealings. Like, he's been linked to a lot of other clubs, Chelsea being one of the big ones, and United, of course, being the other big one. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out, but we're going to discuss all that stuff too. I did put Osimhen in the thumbnail of this video. Reason why is because there are been a lot of transfer rumors regarding him as well, and we're going to get into some of the things that Ornstein said about all of this, and we're actually going to watch that clip basically that was on Twitter that I saw together. And then last but not least, our savior, the best player for us so far, to me, honestly, is coming back from injury sooner than expected. So will be available next week. AMAD Diallo is the person that I'm talking about, as you can see in the thumbnail as well. So he will be back next week. We're going to discuss all of those type of things as well. We're going to talk about his return too. But before we do that, make sure you guys do run up the likes, subscribe. I know we hit 800 subscribers very, very recently, but the goal is to 1K, and we're going to get there very, very soon. So if you are new, if you're watching this back, if you've heard from a friend, subscribe, and it'll help out a lot. Oh, I totally forgot about that title, because I was like making this today. So I like completely forgot about that title. You know what I'll do? I'll do that title for the preview for the Europa League game, because it's like literally next week and it's a big game. So I'll do a preview for it. So yeah, I'm not going to say what the title is because H knows it, but I'm not going to say what the title is. But we're going to I'll do it for the preview and stuff. Big up to Godfrey. He was here early. He said, big up, Sheik. Hope you're good, G. I'm doing absolutely great. I hope you are doing blessed as well on this Friday. And yeah. Shout out to Lou, man, as well. He says, big up, bro. Big up to you, man. Hope you guys are all doing great. Like Godfrey did say, like and subscribe on your way in as well, people. It is not my original setup. I don't know if you've seen the Mud Brothers that we did this past Monday, but I'm not on my normal setup. I am currently away for like a little mini vacation. So yeah, that's kind of explains why things look a little bit different, but that's really it. So let's pretty much get into it. Let's get into the news. There's a clip that we're going to watch together because I think it's very, very interesting to see what Ornstein had to say about our about our transfer news. H, I'm gonna get to your question in just a little bit. Let's all like pretty much just watch this clip real quick, and then we shall get into it. Cool. So here we go. Let me play this. The thing is, I don't want to play it full screen because I don't want to get hit for copyrights. But shout out to everyone, man. Shout out to you lovely people for real. Hope you guys are all doing great. Let me see. Here we go. Oh yeah, let me change the background as well. 1 second. It's not that red background. Cool. So this was before the Arsenal versus Crystal Palace game, and obviously people asked him about just like
Manchester United.
Manchester United transfer thing. So we'll listen to it real quick.
Attack, and they are looking at a centre forward and a number 10 as their main focus. They want to get on with it pretty quickly. The finances are in place, as I understand it, to do the deals they would like to do. They do not depend on European football, I'm told, nor on sales to necessitate them. Their main focus for the number 10 position is Matheus Cunha of Wolverhampton Wanderers. He has a £62.5 million release clause. He wants to come, we're told, but personal terms would still need to be agreed, which is not a formality. Let's see if other clubs come in for him as well. But there is optimism at Old Trafford that they can land him. They have alternatives, the likes of Antoine Semenyo at Bournemouth and also Tyler Dibbling at Southampton. But Cunha is the one they are focusing on. It's not close just yet, but I could see this one developing rapidly. In the striker position, it's Liam Delap of Ipswich Town as their number 1 target. He has a £30 million release clause if Ipswich are relegated. But there are a lot of other suitors for him, including Chelsea. So there's no guarantee that will happen. I think Liam Delap will decide before the European Under-21 Championships on where he wants to go. If Manchester United are to look at others, I'm assured it will not be Victor Osimhen. Despite reports you might be reading, he is not on the agenda for Manchester United. They will have other options because they might have to turn to them, or they stick with internal solutions such as Erasmus Højlund and they focus on other positions. Those other positions may be dependent more on sales, the likes of Rashford, who you talked about at the top. Aston Villa have a £40 million option to buy him. Let's see if they get into the Champions League and whether they are the proposition that he wants to join and also that they can afford him. I think he could also go elsewhere, of course. He's always liked the idea of somewhere like Spain, Barcelona. We'll have to wait and see. He wants to be in the Champions League. He doesn't want to be in London, we're hearing. And I don't think he has a future at Manchester United. Those funds, on top of perhaps Jadon Sancho going to Chelsea on a permanent basis, Casemiro maybe leaving, Anthony, Malacia. Let's see what happens with Højlund. Moving Eriksen and Lindelof's wages off the bill when they expire in their own terms at the end of the season could raise a lot of money that Manchester United could reinvest. And I don't think their targets are going to change based on whether they're in Europe or not or what competition. They're pretty sure in what they want, and they're going to try and do it in a busy summer at Old Trafford. One thing they don't want to have to do is replace Andre Onana if he can prove himself, because a new goalkeeper was not on the agenda. Certainly not a number 1. So let's see if he can turn his form around, stay at Old Trafford and try and provide a bit of stability between the sticks. But there's plenty else that will happen, and we'll keep you across it on NBC.
All right. So a lot of things said in there, right? We'll start off pretty much from the start of the interview. So, of course, Cunha is the deal that we've been linked with for a while. Cunha is a player that we've been linked with for a while. And from the reports that he's been saying, it looks like that is the person that we are going for, even though a 10 and a striker is the position that we have identified as pretty much a priority currently at this moment. But Cunha is the one. Cunha is the one that they're prioritizing over everybody else. Obviously, we've heard about his release clause around, I think, 60 million or so, something like that. Obviously, if you guys don't know, I'm sure a lot of you guys are football fans and you know he plays for Wolves currently at this moment. And another thing that I will say is that every single time I've watched Cunha play against Manchester United, he has absolutely ripped us apart. Absolutely ripped us apart. And getting into just Cunha's stats, right? The amount of goals and stuff that he scored for them, being obviously the pivotal player for Wolves this season too. I mean, he is their best attacking threat, considering he plays kind of like a midfielder as a 10 with the amount of goals that he scores. And even sometimes when he does play as like a false 9, he's a massive, massive threat. And then you have to look at just Cunha as a player, right? And then you look at the deficiencies in our squad. So we've got Garnacho, Højlund, all these different people that we do play in 10. rather than like, regardless of those players and their profiles, it's not really what Ruben is looking for. And something that our team has lacked in that midfield, or I would say in that 10 position, is a ball progressor. A ball progressor, someone who obviously is good at making players around him look well, who can link up well with other players too. Cunha is that. Cunha is that profile. Cunha is someone who I can go back to the first Premier League game of last season. So we're talking about the season where we won the FA Cup. The first Premier League game we did play Wolves and we won 1-0. But all I remember in that game was Casemiro being in that midfield and Cunha just absolutely ripping our midfield apart. The way that he glides through that midfield, the way that he can pick up the ball and just, beat a couple of players here and there, the way that he can also find a pass just shows his quality and just shows also, one, we're looking for a player of that quality who's able to do those type of things, who's able to make the rest of our attack look good as well. On top of that, you're also getting a player who also, like, when we're in terms of finishing, in terms of his striking attributes too, I see this person, I see Cunha being not only just a 10, but I also see him playing as a false 9 for us. And what I would say to this is, scrap, let's say, everybody else from this transfer window, right? And we just get Cunha. And I'm not saying I'm okay with this, and I'm not saying that this is what our standard should be, but just an addition of Cunha will do levels to our attack, absolute levels to our attack. The thing that we struggle with the most right now currently is obviously scoring goals. Attack is the thing that we are struggling with the most. If you guys have probably seen my infamous comment that I made at the start of this season where I said we were going to score 45 goals. I predicted we were going to score 45 goals. So, yeah, it's one of those things where attack was needed after seeing a season like this. It's the bare minimum. I was talking to Jez about this last night on the playback. Shout out to Flawless, of course, Sarcasm City TV playback if you haven't checked that out already. I was talking to Jez about this, and this, what they're doing in terms of Cunha deal, the Delap deal that we're going to get into as well, is the bare minimum. I think this is the bare minimum. I think you have to show, like, you have to show that this season obviously has gone the way that it has, but you have to show that you're not just sitting there comfortable hoping that things are just going to change overnight. You have to get to work, and that's really what they're actually doing. So if they do get these two deals over the line, let's say before the season ends, I'm sorry, but I have to give credit to Ineos, because you guys know how I feel about them. I don't think they were going to maybe get into transfer dealings this soon. When I say that, I don't think that we're going to get players over the line and get players into the club before this season ends. And obviously, we haven't gotten anyone through yet. Cunha looks like the one deal that is more and more closer to becoming a Manchester United player as compared to like Delap. But like I said, this is the bare minimum. With the season that we've had, with the amount of goals that we've scored, not just this season too, but the season before that as well. We need attacking players. Like, we definitely need attacking players. And this is the route that they're taking, and I like it. This is a player that I do like. Cunha is a player that I do like. And yeah, man, I'm absolutely for it. Who's this? Who's calling? Give me 1 second, people. Should we answer this call on should we answer this call together? Who is this? Hello? Hello? This scam calls, people. Scam calls. It is what it is. But yeah, getting back to it. Listen, Cunha, I am all for this Cunha deal. All for this Cunha deal. Give me 1 second, people. These people are like spamming my shit. 1 second. Sorry about that, people. But we're back. But yeah, like Sai says, do run up the likes. RSV, I'm going to get to your comments in just a little bit. And I'm going to get to all the questions too. Let me get to Aisha's question first. So, you happy with just having Delap as the only striker? So we're going to get into the Delap stuff too. To finish off the Cunha deal. I listen. I'm all for Cunha. I'm all for Cunha. Literally, I am all for the Cunha deal. We have to get players like that through the line. And yeah, I'm all for that Cunha deal. Let's see. You happy with just having Delap as the only striker? No. So, listen, Delap, I like Delap. The fact that he has scored 12 goals with the relegation side this season is impressive. We're not denying the type of player that he is. We are not denying the quality that he has. However, he can't be the only solution. Bringing in just a Delap over the line right now would put in massive amount of pressure on him to get the running going. And listen, I don't like Rasmus Højlund, but one of the issues that's not really helping a player like him or anybody of his standard is the pressure that comes into when you become a Manchester United player. And I think what Delap needs in order for him to become a top striker, which if that is what, because he's only 21 years old, that's the deal that we're trying to go for, is to probably have him here for a while to develop and develop him into a seasoned Premier League striker. Um, I don't think you can do that by just throwing him out there. I think you do have to have some sort of experience around him. I think you do have to have more players around him to take that pressure off of him, which is why I think Delap as the only striker is not good. And I'm not going to be happy with that at all. Not only is it based off of obviously what I think about him as a player, but it's also Rasmus Højlund is going to be here probably. I don't know if we're going to get rid of him. Currently, as it stands, I haven't heard much about us getting rid of him in the summer. So our only two strikers technically would be Delap and Rasmus Højlund. If Delap picks up an injury, we're stuck with Rasmus Højlund again. We're going to see a lot of what we've seen this season yet again. So I don't want Delap to be the only striker. I would rather want someone with a little bit more experience, someone who has been scoring goals on a consistent basis, be it 10 to 15, be it 20, like be it any of those type of numbers. I want those type of players into the club. And if you asked me, I am a little bit pissed, and we're going to get into it after when David Ornstein did talk about the Osimhen link. That is someone who I would have wanted. Him and Delap, honestly, in terms of the striking department, would have been peach. And you'd get one player, Delap, who you can use from time to time, who you can develop over the years. But then you'd also get a seasoned striker like Osimhen, who's been used to scoring goals. Not only is he just a clinical finisher, but he's also someone who can make goals for himself. Again, make the players around him look well, can provide assists, just an all-around lethal attacker. So it's one of those type of things where, like, yeah, it's Delap can't be the only one. We have to get more. We have to get more attackers. It just doesn't sit right with me right now here talking to you guys about this, considering we've only scored 38 goals this season. Like, the biggest problem that I have, and I've talked about this so many times, is we're going to go watch the Champions League semifinal. We're going to go watch the likes of Kvaratskhelia. We're going to go like see the likes of all these like other players and attacking quality. And then we come back to our club and we see how absolute wank everybody is. And that's what I'm sick of and seeing. Like, I actually want to see attacking football. And that's something that we've lacked for a while. So getting in Delap is good, but he can't be the only one. He cannot be the only one. Be it a loan deal for a striker, someone that fits a profile. Cool. I'm with it. He just can't be the only one, because let's say he picks up an injury, we have to revert to Højlund again. And even though I like Xerxes, he is not a number 9. He is not a clinical finisher. Maybe he can get better next season as the season goes on, but he's not a clinical finisher in that aspect. So yeah, it's one of those type of things where we need to get more. Let me get to some of these other questions and stuff as well. Big up to RSV every single time. He says, big up. I will be over the moon once I see Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, Onana, Hoyland, Lindelof, Eriksson, Maguire leave. I also want Mount and Casemiro gone as well. I hear you on a lot of them. Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, Onana, Hoyland, Lindelof, Eriksson, Maguire, must leaves. Eriksson, obviously, Lindelof as well. Their contracts are not going to be extended. They are on pretty decent wages as well. So that's a plus that their contracts are running out and that we don't have to deal with their wages anymore. Rest of those guys that you've mentioned, yes. Rashford's story, I think, should be done. I don't think we should do any sort of revisionism. Like if Villa are willing to pay 40 million for Rashford, take it. You take it and you run because clearly the manager doesn't like him. Clearly he's not part of the manager's plans. Whether it's been the club's objective to try to push him out of the club and then he's trying to, they're trying to push that down to the manager, fine. I'm not opposed to that at all. My opinions on Rashford, I was a big fan of him, but somewhere down the line, things for him as a player just haven't gone well and he hasn't really progressed and he's been very, very inconsistent. So based off of that, I think it's time for him to go. And I wish him the best. I have no hate against him. I've seen some people calling him a rat and all these type of things. I don't agree with any of those type of things. I just want to wish him the best. And I want our club, our club should always be the priority for anything, for over any of these players, be it even Ronaldo. We've seen someone like Ronaldo at our club. And when things towards his second stint were going well, were going wrong when he was saying a lot of things about our club, I had to put my club before him, even though I am a big, Cristiano Ronaldo fan. Those are the type of things that you kind of have to do. And it's about damn time that we start thinking about our club, man. We've been in the trenches for so long. Like this season absolutely has been taking a toll on me. And I'm just sick and tired of this. So, and another thing is for the manager as well. Like he has to, these signings right here that we're looking to get and these players that are looking to go, these are all technically some of his decisions. And if this is the Manchester United that we are shipping into, he's at the forefront. He is Ineos's guy. Ineos have picked this guy, told him it was now or never to come to the club just because they didn't want to miss out on him later. And this is his guy. This is their guy. So I'm looking forward to the summer. I've been saying this. The summer is the most important thing going into next season. The summer is the most important thing for years to come because we've seen that this squad currently for the past 3 years has constantly regressed season after season after season. So it's about damn time that we get rid of a lot of these players in the squad. We make a whole new squad. We try to get more players in and we go from there. But a lot of the players that you mentioned, I agree with. Mount needs to go. I personally would keep Casemiro for another season, but I get it for the people who don't want him here because of his high wages. I completely get that. I'm not even going to argue it. But all the other names that you've mentioned, 100% agree. I think all of them need to go. So, yeah. That's what I'll say to that. He also says ETH really dismantled our club with those awful signings he's made, especially the summer 2023 window. ETH deserves a prison sentence for pushing those targets. Those were his first choice targets. Yes, 100%. And that's going alongside what I was saying with about the comment that he dropped earlier is, yeah, we are paying the sins for bad recruiting done 3 seasons ago. And the investment on, like, simple as this, right? You pay for something in this sport. You're looking for a return on investment. We haven't gotten a return on investment on a lot of the guys that we've signed. Anthony is not even at our club at this moment, and we paid damn near 90 for him. Rasmus Højlund has scored 2 or 3 goals this season out of 28 or 29 league games. He started 19 of them. He's had 9 shots on target. And we paid around 75 million for him. No return on investment. There's been Sancho too. If we really get into it, we paid big bucks for him as well. Not really a return on investment from him as well. But then that trickles down more to what you expect from a player like him. A lot of players in terms of that have not been a good return on investment. The only ones that I can really say are the ones that we've actually signed this season. The ones that we actually signed this season, the likes of Delap, Mazraoui, Ugarte to a certain extent. I wouldn't even go and give full praise to him, but Delap, Mazraoui, Lenny Euro. Shout out to Lenny Euro. Like, this guy is literally one of my favorite center backs at the club currently. All these guys have been thoroughly praised, even though this season has been a shit show. And I've been praising these guys for a good amount too, and they've looked like our better signings this season. So this season, I would say our signings have been good, even though I've just said this about these signings that we've made this season. I still gave this window a 5 out of 10 in the summer. And the reason why I gave this window a 5 out of 10 is because of the lack of attack in our team. We got rid of Sancho, who some people, including myself, can argue that he was one of our better attackers at the club in terms of as a player. And we got rid of him and we didn't really replace him. The only person that we did get in this summer was Xerxes, a player who obviously people have his doubts still on him. I really don't. I know exactly what type of player he is now, but he's not a clinical finisher. He's more of a 10. He's more of a facilitator. He's more of someone who, again, tries to get the better out of the teammates. Yes, he'll get his odd chances here and there for tap-ins and stuff like that for some of the goals that he's scored, but he's not a striker. And then when you look towards our striking department at the club, it's really only Rasmus Højlund. And if you want to think about Cheeto, who we signed into January, he doesn't really get used that much. So Rasmus Højlund is the only striker that we had going into this season as well. So yeah, it's like our recruitment has been absolutely shit. The fact that we gave Erik ten Hag the keys to do all those type of signings, man, and it absolutely kills me. Mason Mount is a Champions League winner, and this guy's come to our club and he's barely played like 10 games. Barely played 10 games. So I think it's high time that we get rid of a lot of this recruiting that Ten Hag did at our club. And look how backwards he sent us as well. So it's about time we move forward. And get these guys gone, man. Get these guys freaking gone. I'm sick and tired of seeing them. Honestly. Shout out to Sai every single time he says big up Sheik. Hope everything is good. He refused to work with Ragnick when he kept mentioning an open heart surgery. Erik ten Hag was a cocky moron. Yeah, man, fuck that guy, honestly, genuinely. I could care less. I would care less what he does in his career, but yeah, I could care less. The fact that Sai says Sheik United need like creators and finishers. Yeah, 100%. Do you think United need more experience in the striking department? Yes. Yes, 100%. And I'll take a very good prime example of this. The last time we had a experienced, and I'm not saying we should go get a veteran striker, but last time we had any sort of experience was Edinson Cavani, the number 7 for us, right? Look how that added levels to us for our attack that season, for Rashford, for Greenwood, for Martial, for a lot of the attackers that we had in the team that time. Rashford had a 20 to 25 goal season that year when Cavani was around. Greenwood was banging goals left and right when we had Cavani around as well. You need a player like that in the team. And then on top of that, Cavani is just a bad boy player. Just absolute bad boy player. Like pure lethal striker. He makes the right runs. He has the great IQ. Always there in the box to attack the ball. So also has the work rate to create goals around him as well. So just going off of what I've seen from Edinson Cavani, we definitely need more experience. We definitely need more people in that striking department. Not only will it just help, Delap or whoever we end up getting, but it'll also help Rasmus Højlund. Trust me, it will. And it might come to a point where like he's gonna probably see bench and be sitting for a while. But sitting at the bench and not playing for a while should give you some sort of motivation to go out there and perform better. And that's what he needs. We've seen players at our club currently who've gotten way too comfortable from starting week in, week out because the manager wants to pick them for whatever reason. But what that does to them makes it okay for them to make the same type of mistakes from time and time again because they know that they're going to get selected anyways. And that is something that we have to erase at this club currently. Mentally, this culture of players just deserving to start for whatever reason, no. That's why we need more players into all departments so that everyone needs to fight for their position. I'm not for this whole clean slate type of shit, to be honest, because I know what some of these players are. But getting in more strikers will actually help someone like Rasmus Højlund. And I don't want him to be at the club, to be honest. I want to get rid of him. But it looks like from what David Ornstein was saying that we're looking at internal solutions, which is why we stepped away from Osimhen. If that is the case, then get in another experienced striker and use that and use the striking department to make these other players demand for their positions. And it's as simple as that. That's what I would say to that. So big up to you, Sideman, every single time. Part of me is glad we aren't pushing for Osman because of his wages. He wants 300K plus per week. No club in Europe is willing to pay those wages. Yeah, I've heard about his whole wages thing. And to be honest, yeah, that is absolutely ridiculous. Like 300 plus K. But then I've seen that his transfer fee is only like rumored to be only around 40 million. What I've been saying is, and Flawless has been saying this too, shout out to Flawless. I have no problem with like 300 plus K if it's incentives. Like start at a 150K contract because I think he's worthy of that, to be honest, with the amount of goals that he scored. Start at a 150K contract, push it up to 300K if let's say he scores 20 goals in his first season or 25 goals in his first season. Make it like a bonus for him to get additional money if he hits those incentives. That's how we should be moving. That's how we should be moving for players like this. You can't always let the player have the ball in their court and scam us from time and time again just because we want that player so bad. So that's what I would do in this situation, RSV, to be honest, because I rate him. I would want Osimhen and Delap, to me, in terms of two strikers that we're bringing into the club, is perfect. I think that's absolutely what we would need. It could be either Gyökeres, it could be, I don't want Sesko, but it could be either Gyökeres or Osimhen, and I would be okay with either of them because we need someone who is scoring goals currently, who has an eye for goals currently, because our team absolutely lacks it. So we need it. We need someone like him, but if this whole wages thing is an issue, I've been saying this, put it in incentives, put it in bonuses. Tell him that if you score 20 to 25 goals this season, you will get an extra amount of money. And that's how you can sway a player to the club. And I think that's how we should be moving in this whole Osimhen situation. But it looks like we're not even paying no mind to him at all. So there's really no even point talking about it because I don't even think we're really that interested in him from the likes of what David Ornstein was saying. So shout out to Sai. He says run up the likes. Make sure you guys are running up the likes. I don't know where we're at for likes right now, but make sure you guys are running up the likes, people. Let's see. Shout out to Amrit Jolly. Yo, if Cunha fails, no one would fail the board. No one would fail the board or Amorim. I don't know what you mean, but like Pogba. Say that again so that because I just kind of didn't understand what you were saying with that, bro. Apologies, my apologies. But big up to you every single time. The thing with Delap is the guy is super confident and he ain't scared. Like he's rumbled with has rumbled with Holland and Mazraoui. Okay, I get what you're trying to say with that. Also, could you pay Rista? Respect to them. The only thing is I'm not trying to get too political into on my stream. This is a football channel, so yeah, I'm sorry about that. But yes, I'm Indian, of course. So yes, I do acknowledge that, and I do feel terribly bad. Respect to all the victims. I'm just not going to read it and get too much into it because it's not a political channel. We're just a football channel, and I just like to talk about football things. So yeah, big up. Shout out to my mom, who put the hearts. Big up to my mom every single time. Shout out to Omar. Big up to Omar. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Omar YT on YouTube. Barcelona fan. Check out his content. Great YouTuber. Great content creator, man. Make sure you guys check out his channel every single time. Shout out to you, Omar. Big up to TJ. Shout out to TJ. Big up to you, bro. Hope you're doing blessed. I'll try to show up on your stream actually because I'm currently like on vacation. I'll drop by for 10-15 minutes if I can, just to say hi and just to show love because I know you're doing your 100th episode of American Idiots today. So shout out to TJ. Go subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. He's doing his 100th episode of the American Idiot Show on his lovely channel. So go show some love to him whenever you can. I'm not sure what the time is, but go click on his channel in the chat right there and it should take you to it. And you can hit the sub and find out when he's going to be going live for that. So big up to you, TJ, every single time, man. Hope you're doing great. And like you said, subscribe to the damn thing. You already know. Shout out my bro, Casper. Big up to you, Casper, every single time. RC says Sesko is massively overrated. Yeah, he's just like, Sesko doesn't move me. Sesko just doesn't move me as a player. Like when I look at Gyökeres, when I look at Osimhen, I look at bad boy strikers who've been, who've been getting some pretty crazy numbers consistently for the past couple of years. Osimhen, obviously this year, not Osimhen, sorry. Gyökeres this year is on a madness. Like, this guy is scoring insane amount of GNA. Like, I think he had like 16 GNA in his last like 9 games previous to like maybe this week, which is absolutely crazy. And I get it. It is Sporting. It is the Portuguese league. Yes, this and that. Cool. But what I see from all of that is that the guy has an eye for goal and he's a lethal striker. So bring. And yeah, going back to like Sesko, he doesn't move me the way that Gyökeres and Osimhen do. I just think he's your average striker, to be honest. Maybe above average, but that's about it. That's really just about it. Yeah, he's a good finisher. He has good shot power onto him. There's also like, you could argue that he's good aerially as well. But then if I were to compare Gyökeres and Victor Osimhen to him, they both can do the same thing, if not better. So that's why in terms of that list, he's at the bottom. And honestly, I wouldn't want him. If we do get Sesko, I'm kind of pissed, to be honest. So yeah, we'll move with that. I meant to say blame. Oh, for which comment? Oh, would blame the board. No one would blame the board or Amorim like Pogba. I see what you mean. I get you. Shout out to my brother Don C, my mud brother in the chat. Shout out to you, Don C, man. Hope you and the family are doing great, bro. Says large up the chat and run up the likes every single time. Shout out to my GOAT mod Warrior J. He says, raw, good news on this United stream for once. Fair chic, big up. Yeah, man, we don't really get a lot of good news around here, to be honest. So we gotta make the most of it whenever we can. But yeah, getting into the good news, because we have talked about Delap, we have talked about Cunha, we have a little bit talked about Osimhen, how we've stepped away from the deal. What Warrior J is referring to here is AMAD Diallo is back. Looks like he will be back in training next week. Let me pull up the tweet that Warrior J was very kind to tag me in yesterday. Let me pull up this tweet real quick. Let's see. Wait, notifications. Sounds right. Make sure you guys are running up the likes, though, people, every single time. Make sure you guys are subscribing as well. Here we go. Cool. Exclusive. Even though it's not really an exclusive, but exclusive. AMAD Diallo set to be back in training with Manchester United squad already next week. Despite initial expectations for the season to be over after injury, he's recovered in record time. And so AMAD will be available from training next week. Amorim will go the ETH way by not rushing him. I think he will, I think he's going to throw him in for Bilbao. Maybe off the bench, maybe not starting. But in that first game on May 1st, I think you'll see him. I think we will see him. And listen, regardless of how things have been going, regardless of, yes, he's been injured or not, listen, man, we need him. I don't want to see the players that we have in our attack. I would rather see an injured AMAD Diallo over those guys, man. Genuinely. So we need him. Whether he goes into the right wing back position, whether he goes into the right side 10, we need him on the pitch, man. He's been our attacking spark this season. He's been the attacking spark. He's been like, he's been the guy, man. Oh, looks like we got raided. Who raided to us, chat? Let me know. I think you got raided. Who sent us the raid? Because I see 52 people in here now. Let me know. Let me check on the YouTube. One sec. Lewis! Shout out to Lewis. Big up, Lewis. Big up. Shout out Carefree Lewis. Make sure you guys, if you're on my channel, obviously subscribe to him if you haven't already. Shout out to Lewis every single time, man. Big up Lewis, man. Love. Shout out to Lewis. Question. Sheik, what is expectation next season if Ruben gets all his players? Oh, very, very good question. Expectation. Hey, let's just start off by this is gonna sound really funny. Let's just start off by getting into the top 10. Let's start off by that. But if I'm being realistic, look, the pressure is there from the get-go. From day one, really. And I've been saying this. I'm gonna give Ruben Amorim 5 games. 5 games. And I will tell you exactly how the season's gonna go next season, people. 5 games. If we make signings and he doesn't play them, it's a problem because we already have lineup selection issues with Amorim currently at this moment. But expectation wise, look, I think it's going to depend a lot on who we sign. It's going to depend a lot on who we get rid of. It's going to depend a lot on who's still here. So let's start off by getting into at least, I would say this. Look, if the players that we do bring in right now, Cunha, Delap, I think we can finish top 8. Start off by just getting into top 8, top 6, top 7, compete for a domestic trophy. Considering if we do win this Europa League, if we do, we'll be in the Champions League as well. So that's going to be another competition that we're going to be competing in. What that also means is more midweek games. We need to, get more depth for our squad. So all of those type of things. It's going to be like a situation where we're gonna have to, we're gonna have a lot. He's gonna have a lot of games at his disposal, just like this season. Only 5 games? No. Only 5 games to tell you how the season's gonna go. Not 5 games in terms of I'm Amorim out. No. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry if that sounded a little bit confusing. I will tell you by 5 games how our season's probably going to play out, what we're going to fight for, what our ceiling could be as a squad, all of that type of stuff. I'm not Ruben Amorim out. Trust me, I'm giving him time next season. And I think it's a little bit unfair to judge him, even though things this season have been abysmal. They have been absolutely abysmal, and it is unacceptable for a club like this to be in the position that we are in. I'm just saying that I think it would only be fair to judge him when he does have his right tools and disposals. But with that also being said, I don't necessarily agree that a manager of his quality that everyone has been praising needs to have the right tools and disposals. Like there has to be some sort of improvement from what we've seen this season as well. Because I keep mentioning this all the time. Even if we go out there and get 4 to 5, we're definitely allowed to question him. Of course we're allowed to question him 100%. Like any Manchester United manager, for anybody to do this is absolutely terrible. And I'll tell you this example: if Ten Hag was performing the way that he was performing this season, we'd be absolutely livid. We would. So it's one of those type of things where like he can't get obliged just for how he's performed and some of the decisions that he's made with lineups this season. But then to counter argue this is that we know these players are shit. We know they are. Look at how this team has regressed 3 years in a row. We started off in a Champions League spot with Erik ten Hag, won a domestic trophy. We then had an abysmal Champions League run, an abysmal Premier League season, still somehow lifted an FA Cup. Now, we're still in contention to win a European trophy, which we can still get over the line, and I still think we have a decent chance. But our Premier League season has again been abysmal. And I keep saying this again. Progress for a squad, progress for a team is judged by the Premier League, not by domestic trophies. Domestic trophies can be won on one-off nights, on one-off games. Domestic, like those ties, European ties, can be won. And progression for a squad is seen through the Premier League. And we just haven't had any progression. So I know this squad ain't good enough. A lot of them in this squad ain't good enough. And that's why I've been saying a lot of them need to go. Prior to when even Ten Hag got here, I've been on Rashford's case. I've been on a lot of players' case. So it's one of those type of things where, like, yes, the manager has performed to a very, very bad standard. And I didn't think it was even going to be like this. Like, I thought things were going to be a lot better. However, the underlying problem, even under the manager and his selections, has been the players. And I think that is something that we do have to get rid of. This culture of players just being selected for whatever reason, just because we don't really have other options, or just because they can continue to make mistakes week in, week out, Højlund has gone 20 games with 2 goals. 20 games with 2 goals. And he gets selected like it's nothing. Like he gets selected like he's banging goals left and right. When we have a Cheeto sitting on the bench who can be played in Premier League games, even though our Premier League games are done. Like they're finished. Like our Premier League season is finished. Why are we not using him? And that is an issue and that is a problem. That's why I don't think we are fair to criticize him. When you asked, are we even allowed to question him? Of course we are. Of course we're allowed to question him on those type of decisions. But I just can't sit here and have all this vim for the manager when I, past 2 seasons, have been talking shit about these players on damn near every single stream. I just don't think it's fair to him. I do understand, though, that even though I am saying this does put massive amount of pressure on him going into next season. Because, like I said, there will come a time next season where Ruben Amorim is going to have to revert to some of these players again into the squad. And when that time comes, I can't see shit like this again. There has to be some improvement on his part. There has to be some improvement on Manchester United players' part. There has to be improvement all around. So the pressure is on. Even if we end up winning the Europa League, I think it just papers over the cracks for how this season has gone. Yes, it gets us into the Champions League. Yes, this is a European trophy. But you can't deny the fact that our Premier League season has been an absolute abysmal shit show. We are now sitting on -8 goal difference. We still owe 3 goals from last season. So if you count it together, we're on -11 goal difference going into next season. Currently, this could still get worse because we still have 5 games to play. So with all of these things said, listen, people, I'm just not Ruben Amorim out yet because I don't think it's entirely fair to judge him when I know these players, some of these players ain't good enough. Now, someone did ask this where he did say, let me go up. Do you think Erik ten Hag will finish 14th with the squad? To this, what I would say, though, EPL Turf is like, it's regardless of the situation. Whether Ten Hag finished 14th, whether Ten Hag would finish 8th or 9th or 10th, it still shows the deficiencies in the squad. And that's what I'm trying to say. When people try to bring up this whole conversation of Erik ten Hag would have never finished 14th with United, Erik ten Hag would have been much, much higher in the table. Okay, much, much higher in the table is what? 11th? 10th? 9th? 8th? Still a problem, by the way, people. Still a problem. So I get when some fans say that oh, Ten Hag wasn't really that different or he could have been better. Yes, technically, maybe he could have finished higher than Ruben Amorim this season. But we're talking about 10th or 9th or 8th, which, let's be honest, you get Europa League and you get Europe, but it's not really where we want to be. We don't want to consistently compete in Europa League, do we, chat? We don't want to consistently compete for just domestic trophies, do we, chat? No. We want to see some sort of progression in the Premier League, and that progression will start when we get some of these players out from this club. And that's what I'm looking forward to with Ruben Amorim. Now, I will hold my hands up and tell you that if by November we are still sitting in these spots in the Premier League, I will be Ruben Amorim out, because just that will clearly tell you that even after all this money that he spent and even after all these players that he's asked for, it's not working out. And that's really it. And that's okay, and that's fine for fans to say. I don't understand what this whole like manager sack culture that people try to bring up. I think it's some woke nonsense that we can't get rid of managers when we want to just because they're performing bad, that we have to stick with a manager for a set amount of time just because, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day and Sir Alex Ferguson was given the years that he was given. Sir Alex Ferguson won shit with Aberdeen before he came to Manchester United. He beat Real Madrid in a European final before he came to Manchester United. So it's one of those type of things where it's fine if that does happen. It's fine. It's fine if that does happen. We asked this ETH question because if the manager is able to use the best of the squad, it's easy to blame players for everything. If same squad can win Europa, then why not able to finish top 8? Well, again, it's one of those type of things where you don't. Okay, so Europa and these type of competitions, like I said, are one-offs where you can be the better team on that day over 2 legs. Over 2 legs, you could even have a shitty first leg. and you can be the better team in the second leg. And it's one-off competitions that can be won. What I can give you the best example for last season. Majority of the world in the FA Cup final thought Manchester City would beat us. Did they not? They won a league. They won a treble 2 years ago. Majority of the world thought Manchester City would beat us in that FA Cup final. However, what happened? We won on that one-off day. We won on that one-off game in a final where we turned up for it. So it's one of those type of things where you cannot judge a team's progression. You cannot judge a team on how they have basically progressed as a squad by just looking at domestic trophies. And I'm telling you this because we won an FA Cup last season and I wanted him gone still. We won an FA Cup under Louis van Gaal and he still left the club. So it's like things like this have happened before. It's not like they haven't happened before. We are in a stage at our club currently where we need to look at league progression. Yes, domestic trophies matter, and I'm not saying we shouldn't win trophies. Like, I'm not saying that at all, people. However, domestic trophies cannot be the be-all, end-all of our season, where we cannot just sit at the end of the season as Manchester United fans, as a Manchester United football club, and be like, you know what? Even though the Premier League season was shit, we finished 8th or 9th or 10th or 11th or 13th or 12th or 14th, whatever, but we still won a trophy at the end of the season. I'm sorry, even though I like trophies, that is not how a club like us should run. If that's Tottenham Hotspur, I get it, because Tottenham Hotspur don't win trophies. I get it. So it's one of those type of things where, yeah, it's like I'm just tired of seeing us getting slapped up left and right, us getting dominated by certain teams in the Premier League left and right. I'm sorry. Sheik, I did ask you a question if you can, brother. Can you just put it up one more time? Can you put it up again one more time? One more time. Because I think I kind of lost it. But let's see. I got to this. Daniel says, shout out to Daniel. Big up to you, bro. Every single time he says, I'm used to sacking managers. Manchester United aren't. I mean, we're kind of getting to it as well. We've sacked a lot of managers since Fergie, man. We've had Van Gaal. We've had Ollie. We've had Van Gaal, Ollie, Moyes, Mourinho, Ragnick, if you want to consider him, Ten Hag, Ruben. That's 7 managers that we've had in 10 years. In over 10 years. 7 managers. So we're kind of going on that trajectory. I'm not going to lie. I got to this as well. Imagine if United had given more time to Moyes, Jose Mourinho, Ollie, and Erik ten Hag, thinking he may be the right guy. I mean, we did. That's the thing is, it's so funny that you mentioned all those managers because we did give them a lot of time. Ollie had how many seasons with us? Didn't win a single trophy. Moyes, and this is what I would say to Ollie. Ollie should have won a trophy. Ollie should have won that Europa League final. And there would have been the things that went wrong with Ollie was in that final season when we ended up signing Ronaldo and all those guys. But Ollie should have won a European trophy. Went to a final with him. He should have won that Europa League. Ten Hag, same thing. Got given his time. Ten Hag got given, honestly, the most resources out of everyone. Look at the amount of money that he spent. The money that he spent this season at the start of this season, the money that he spent last season, just Højlund, Antony, Mount are 200 million. 200 million people. Those 3 players. This guy spent 200 million on 3 players. And where are they now and what are they doing? So we've given them time. We've given these guys time. But something at Manchester United has been the thing that time is earned. And even though I didn't like Ten Hag toward the last 2 stages of his time here at Manchester United, I'll be the first to tell you that his first season was a successful season. But where we went wrong is where we realized what he's really up to. But we've given him time, and he earned his time after that first season. We didn't win a trophy for 5 years, and he stepped in and got us finishing in a Champions League spot. We had the second best home record in the league, like the second best home record in the league. I remember we beat every single Big 6 team at home. He was given time just based off of that. And I think a lot of United fans who did turn on Ten Hag would tell you the same, that we were backing Ten Hag in that first season. The things that went wrong was we needed an upgrade on that midfield of Bruno, Casemiro, and Eriksen, and the guy signed Mount. We needed a striker at the club, an experienced striker who can score goals, because we didn't know if Rashford could continue that 25-goal season. We signed Rasmus Højlund, whose best ever goal tally was probably 12 or 11 with Atalanta in Serie A. So those are the things that we went wrong with. And that's where we did go wrong. So get to this question real quick too. If we are questioning his lineups, then how can we have confidence in him for the future? Listen, I've been mentioning this too, Lou, man, and this is a very good question that you brought up, is that I've been concerned about this. I've been concerned about the fact that what evidence do we have to suggest that even if we do sign these new players, he doesn't revert back to the squad? So that's why I'm saying I need to see some sort of improvement from him as well, in terms of all those type of things. But you're right. Like, if we are questioning his lineups, we can't really have full confidence in terms of his lineup selections in the future too. So this is a very good question and a valid question to ask. And I'm with you on this, bro. I'm with you on this. So United can still finish 14th to 17th. Exactly. We're only 2 points off 17th. And we play West Ham in a couple of weeks. I think 2 weeks. Like the weekend after this, next week. So if West Ham end up getting a result over us, we could be sitting in 17th. And that's absolutely shocking and abysmal, man. Like, I can't believe it that I'm saying that. Genuinely. Do you think Arteta would have survived by finishing 14th? Yeah, I think he would have. Because if you look at what Arteta did too, Arteta took control. He took control of that Arsenal team. Yes, Arteta had an abysmal first 2 seasons, or that first season, I should say. But then he made some decisions like axing Aubameyang from the club. And then they had that top 4 charge. But listen, Arsenal, I don't even want to get into Arsenal, because even with Arteta right now, yes, they're doing whatever they're doing in the Champions League currently. He ain't won a trophy with them. He won a trophy with Unai Emery's squad in that first season. So it's one of those type of things where, like, yeah, it's I think Arsenal, regardless of however he would have finished, would have kept him, because they identified him as the guy to go forward, and they wanted someone to make those ruthless decisions for them, and he was the guy who did it for them. So I think he would have. Sorry, I again didn't get to your question earlier, but he says, if you win the Europa League, do you think you definitely get Victor Gyökeres this summer? Because that's all the reports are saying. I mean, it would definitely be an added thing to negotiations for sure. Not only is that, but it also adds to the fact that he's worked with Ruben Amorim. That was his striker literally at the start of the season. So even though Arsenal, if you ask me, right now is the better fit project for any player, because there's levels between where our club is and where your club is currently at this moment, we could still favor him to come here just based off of the fact that he would like Ruben Amorim, and also that, we won a European trophy and we're going to be competing in the Champions League. I think always, if you win the Europa League and you're competing in the Champions League, it will definitely be a attractive thing for any player who's looking to go to a club. And that's really it. Like David Ornstein mentioned this earlier when I played the clip, that Rashford, if he doesn't end up going to Villa, or if they end up not getting that option to buy, he would want to go to a club that plays in the Champions League. And that's where majority of these clubs, even though if you could argue maybe some of them are at the latter stages of their career, some of them have passed their prime, some of them are still trying to find their feet back. It could be a thing where, yeah, you would need Champions League, and a player would look at Champions League. So yeah, I think that would definitely help us, AJ. That would definitely help us. Yeah, definitely. Big up to you, my bro. Nehemia. I don't want to butcher your name. So I'm just going to pronounce you that. Big up to you every single time. I'm sorry, people. I do have to leave because I do have to end the stream and go somewhere else. So I'm sorry if I didn't get to a lot of your questions, but big up to Lewis every single time for the raid. I shout out to Lewis, man. That's my bro. And I really, really appreciate it. So big up to you, Lewis, every single time for the raid. Let me know who we can raid. And I'm also going to give you a little bit of some news. The reason why I'm closing out this stream right now is because I'm actually invited on Redmen TV. So I will be going to Redmen TV right after this stream. That stream starts at 7 p.m. UK. I think I just got the link for it as well. And yeah, I will be on Redmen TV. So if you guys want to watch that, head over to Redmen TV, Liverpool channel. Of course, you know what's going to happen. I'm going to get fucking cooked. But head over to Redmen TV. That's where I will be in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Flawless? Yeah, we'll rate Flawless. Is he live? Is he live? Let's see. See if he's live. But yeah, big up to you guys, man. I'm sorry I couldn't get to some of your questions, but I'll be doing a lot of these shows in the next upcoming week when I'm back home on my usual setup and stuff like that. So, but I really appreciate all the interaction. Some great questions were asked today. Got into some great conversations about, you know, the club and all that type of stuff. So I really appreciate all you guys in the chat, man. You guys are some real ones. Flawless stream looks like we'll be starting in a couple of minutes. So we will raid to him. Yes, we will rate to him. Cool. Let me do that real quick. 1 second, people. He scheduled it. It will start in 10-15 minutes. Yeah, no problem. We'll send him over. So this stream will be taking you to Sarcasm City TV, where you check out the Sarcastic and Savage show. So if you don't know, Flawless, the Snow Bunny warrior that is himself, is doing a stream with the lovely Savage, who we've seen before, of course, their Sarcastic Savage podcast. So go show some love there. Go tell Flawless that he's a Snow Bunny warrior. He's a winter soldier. He's a milkman and all those type of things that everybody likes to say. Go tell him all of those type of things. But shout out to Flawless every single time. Let me just set up this raid real quick. And yeah, love to all you guys as well. Really appreciate all you guys showing up, asking some great questions, like I said. Continue to support. I'm not sure how many likes we're at and how many subscribers went up, but there are currently 52 people watching. All you have to do is just hit the subscribe button, and that'll help us out a lot. So definitely please do that if you can. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're going to get there very soon. So big up to everyone, man, every single time. And that has been episode number 13 of the Chic TV Stretford Chronicles series that we do every single Friday, or I try to do every single Friday, where we talk about everything Manchester United related. I will catch you guys all in the next one. Go show Flawless some love. Write Snow Bunny Warrior in the chat. And up until then, have a great weekend. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.